Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Broads. I'm not losing my mind. I'm not freaking out. It sucks that they couldn't pull off that comeback, but I'm actually going to say two words that I normally don't die on this hill, but I strangely feel this way right now, and I can't lie. So, it was a moral victory. That's what I saw today. Bryce Harper hitting the home run to tie it up. Now, if I'm not lazy, I'm going to go back and grab exactly what I said a day ago about here we are, Bryce Harper. It will be legit. From my mouth to your ears, I think that's exactly how I phrased it. Bryce will start delivering monster bombs. And that's exactly what we saw today to tie it up. Epic. The guy has balls of steel. Okay, the moment is just there for Bryce Harper, and there's a 0% chance that he fails. It's all money. The guy's unbelievable. And that's why I was hoping to God that we saw him in the 10th inning. Now, speaking of the 10th inning, I have to get this off my chest. There's a lot of idiots that live in this area. And what do I mean by that? So Kyle Schwarber hits a home run to start off a nice back-to-back sequence with him and Trey Turner. He walks as well, which also played a role in the 3-run shot to tie it. And I know not a lot of us love Joe Giglio's takes, but you have to acknowledge that there is reality to this statement right here. And in the midst of a season full of complaint/criticism about where he hits in the lineup, Kyle Schwarber is on pace to finish with 40 home runs, 100 walks, 100 RBI, and 100 runs scored. Okay, so I don't care that maybe there was an ugly at-bat. If you did that in baseball, you drive yourself nuts just looking at one at-bat. You could find an at-bat for every single player, even Barry Bonds, that looked miserable. It's about the full body of work. What I just read you is a full body of work. The guy is great. And I can't stand that I have to do this stupid argument basically every day because of an at-bat in extra innings. You want to get mad at someone, it's JT Realmuto. I know Craig Kimbrell is a little bit of a punching bag because of an 0-2 count right now. The bases were loaded, and I know I can't say that it felt as if someone was going to score anyway there, but it did. A lot could have happened. I don't know. But I'm not putting the blame there. Really, this team, dating back to the 5th inning, JT Realmuto left on third base. JT Realmuto leaves Bryson Stott at third base. In the 7th inning, there was bases loaded. Nothing happened. In the 8th inning, boom, at second base. He was stranded, left there, begging to come across home plate. Nobody. No one. Sosa. Woof. So ultimately, you run down the list, and then until the 9th, they explode. The problem is they couldn't cash in with Rojas over at third base. What an unreal play by him in the 10th to make the diving grab. And it sucks, too, because speaking of great defense, I can't believe I'm putting that phrase together with the Philadelphia Phillies, but I'm actually transitioning over to the San Francisco Giants right now. Bryson Stott and Alec Boehm getting robbed in the 9th broke my heart. You're serious? That's what we saw in the postseason. That was something similar in the World Series against Houston with a fantastic catch at the wall. I can't take it anymore. There's not many times that I'll be able to digest something that snaps me and breaks me into a billion pieces. That was it, man. That was a lock. That was a W. And holy hell, would that be miraculous. Here's Gabe Kapler screwing up again. Late decisions. The guy's walking everyone and their mother. All right, you want to instill confidence? Oh, guess what? It might cost you. Man, did you escape by the skin of your teeth, Gabe Kapler. Bryce, I could only imagine what was going on in his head after he did that. Now, he's got the iconic little celebration happening at home plate, putting up the hands, sort of a Jordan shrug, but not really. Something Jalen Hurts would probably do and look so good doing it. But damn, man, the moment gets bigger and Bryce Harper somehow gets more comfortable. Make it make sense. But I have to also highlight this, since I started off the show already screaming about Kyle Schwarber, and I thought I'd be in a good spot. But as soon as that convo gets brought up, something triggers me. I try to tell myself to slow down, but it never works. Matt Gelb, since June 2nd, the day the Phillies moved Kyle Schwarber back to the leadoff spot, there are only 2 hitters in Major League Baseball who have 20-plus home runs and 50-plus walks. Kyle Schwarber, and can you guess the other one? I'll let you know that he's probably one of the greatest players to ever live. And it's not even debatable. Oh, that's right. Shohei Ohtani. So that's the category, and that's the range of what Kyle Schwarber is able to do for this ball club. That place was electric once again, though. Man, CBP, I love it. I'm obsessed with it. These night games, these random weekday afternoon games, when it gets popping, it knows how to party. I'm not afraid of this San Francisco team. They don't have the real toughness to beat us in a playoff series. They don't have the talent level. The Phillies could walk all over this squad. I mean it. I mean it. Now, it may be something where it's 1 or 2 innings only of great offense, but that's why this lineup is scary. Because in any given inning, you're screwed. And it seems as if the more clutch spot it is, they have 5, 6, 7 different answers. Now, if JT Realmuto is due up in that inning, then you're probably going to record an out. You're going to get a gimme. It's an automatic. Unfortunately, now the Phillies are already down the 2 outs before the inning even starts, before the closer leaves the bullpen and runs onto the mound. He's killing you right now. I know that he was flexing his leg and maybe he's a bit nicked up. I don't know. But if you are, we can't have this. This is unacceptable. It's actually putting your team in a hole. Come on, JT. Dig deep, dude. Now, one thing I love about the way this team grinds, though, so Bryson Stott gets hit in the elbow, hit in that forearm area at the end of last game. I thought with the quick turnaround, you could make the discussion happen. Maybe he sits. You also have an off day on Thursday. Let's give him a couple more hours to settle down and not let anything happen to him. He's in the lineup the next day. He's there. He's ready. It shows me a sign of killer attitude. It shows me really a message from Rob, too. We're going to sweep this series. We're not okay with just 2. They fell just short, but the way they approached this game and the way that they battled, they needed more hits with runners in scoring position. I got it. I got you. I can't lose sight, though, of what they did towards the end. That's a great baseball team. That's what a great team does. Fine, if you fall, it'll take every single squeeze of the lemon. You will earn it. I promise you. And we're going to make your best stars, your closer, someone who's been reliable for you. We'll show him what it's really like. We'll give him a taste of what to expect when the postseason comes around. He was shaking in his boots. I thought I was watching Dylan Covey. Seriously, for a second, I went to my MLB The Park app or MLB At Bat app, and I just wanted to make sure I just combined that in the ballpark app as if I got a pair of tickets on me. But don't they do the face recognition stuff now? Whoa, welcome to 2023. Anyway, I was looking at the San Francisco roster to see exactly when Covey made the change and how Dave Dombrowski pulled off some wizardry and made it happen this deep into the season. What the hell was that? Now, speaking of starting pitching, as we somehow flow throughout this entire mayhem. Does that sentence make sense? I don't know. Lorenzen got tagged, though, man. Squared up and tattooed. 5 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 3 walked batters, 4 earned runs, and, of course, there were some balls leaving the park. It's been shaky. Now I don't know what I'm getting out of him. Now he's the same for me as what Taijuan Walker is. He's a huge, I don't know. He could be great, but he can also start to get pumped. He's getting destroyed now, right? Like, it's to the point where, the last couple of starts have been miserable. There's a difference between having more of an average-ish start or, okay, it was a tad bit below average. This is terrible, okay? This is not going to work. I think he's got more in him. This season, he's been really strong. I'm not doubting him that he can come out of this funk. I'm just telling you that it's been awful. I'm telling you since the no-hitter. And he can't keep up that pace, I promise. I would love him to. Trust me, if every night it was about the no-hitter that's about to happen with Michael Lorenzen, I'd be at CBP nonstop throwing my money around and say, here, you can have it, take it. What's that, a $16, $18 beer? Give me 6. What's that, an ice cream helmet with the little jimmies on top? Oh, to die for. That's right, I'll still get those. Mix in a water ice as well. It's bad, I know. I like dessert. All right, so that's exactly how I saw this game and how I interpret it. But what do you think? How are you feeling out there? That is one of the best questions you've ever asked, bro. Stop. I'm blushing. Let's kick it to the Anytime Hotline, and let's take your calls. Let's do it.
What the hell did I just watch, Hunter? This team continues to jerk off my acorn. What? They can't win a damn series. They can't.
Oh, hold on. They won a series. They won the series. They did win the series. Let's not lose sight of they did win the series. They won the series. They did win the series. I just want it to be noted.
You had the greatest of opportunity tonight to sweep, and you can't get the job done. Craig Kimbrell, horrible pitching tonight. Great job on that's my negative. My positive is actually, what a hell of a hit by Bryce Harper. That home run was crushed. That diving play by Rojas to get the runner out at first. Man, Phillies.
All right. I mean, I think that you're a little more pissed than I am. I'm not as mad at Craig Kimbrell as everybody else. Now, he has not been as sharp, and I don't know. I think the way I assess this is he was lights out, right? The acquisition looked like one of the best in all of baseball. Whoa, Dombrowski brought in Craig Kimbrell, and he went back to his youth? He's been dominant all season long. There was a point where I figured it would go back to the mean a tad. So there's going to be some lost games. There's going to be some rough spots. At the same time, though, extra innings is always bonkers to me now that there's someone who's just thrown on second base. You have to go through that. Every pitcher does. So it's not a free pass at all. It makes it a lot weirder, though. It's way stranger. A lot more odd things can happen. Now, you could also work out of a jam. You could be put in a tough spot, and let's say the reliever before you loads up the bases. There's one out. Hey, your job at that point is to get a ground ball. Can you get out of the inning? Can you at least get the lead runner at home and then fight another day by working with someone else who's in the dishy if you can earn yourself a strikeout or whatever the case may be? That's sort of equivalent. Okay, let's just pretend there was a relief pitcher in before you. There was a leadoff double. Something happened. Okay, bang, you get put in there. An injury. Now there's a 3-batter rule. Let's say someone got hurt, had to leave. I don't know. I'm just trying to make this all make sense. Now, can you help out? Can you high-five your teammate afterwards and say, thank you very much? Or, hey, don't worry about it. I got you. You got my support. I can make sure he doesn't score. I'm not crushing the guy. I'm crushing JT more than anybody else. They did win the series, though. They won it. So they didn't make up for the Nationals. For me, they had to sweep to do that. They didn't do it. Doesn't mean I'm throwing anything out. I guess it's also, another note, it's very difficult for me to walk away from a loss as positive as I am right now. I saw a lot of things that I truly appreciated and I think is a part of this DNA for the long run. It's hard to beat them. They will kill you all the way to the end. The Phillies, that is. They will grind you down. So even if they fall, you know you can't let off the gas. That matters. I love that part of this team. It wasn't always there. It's just starting to really intensify because of the moment, too. Now we're into late August. It's almost September. Football season's right around the corner. College football talk is serious now. So when you start to put this together and you start studying the standings and you're watching what other teams are doing in your division and you're currently really checking the entire National League, these comeback feels and these fights from when you're down, the same thing could happen in May, June, and July. Doesn't have that same burst. Now it does. That's another reason why I think when I say it wasn't always this way, it's also because it's the time of the year that starts to make this feel more important. What's next?
Oh, man, that one hurts. I mean, right after you crawl back in with the 3-run bomb, you give it right back up. You know, can someone tell me the last time JT Realmuto has done something offensively? I mean, the guy's been awful in the entire year. If you're looking for positives, I guess Johan Rojas looks like a gold glover out there in center field, but man, it just sucked to let this one slip because you really wanted to sweep this wild card team. Peace.
You did want to sweep them, but I'm with you that JT needs to be in the crosshairs of blame. When was the last time he did something that was fantastic offensively? 1651. I don't even know if World War I happened the last time that he decided to step up to the plate and hit a moonshot, to carry this team, to have a 4-hit night, to go and snag 3 hits, a couple doubles, and a single with a bunch of RBI. He's dud, man. He's a dud. It's a flat-out demoralizing moment now when he's up there. You could feel the angst from the crowd. He's swinging at a pitch that's nonsense, flailing at it. Oh, because, well, we were all prepared. We still have that reaction, but we all knew and figured that it was going to go down that way. Same with Nick last season. That's basically where we're at with JT. That's brutal. If he's hurt, then we have to assess. Because going back to the whole, okay, I mentioned that earlier, and then I said, well, I like the fact that Bryson Stott is willing to get back in the lineup. Bryson Stott's not hurting you right now. If you're hurt and you want to be out there, but you can't give your team enough, well, that's different. If you're hurt and you're battling and you can still produce, then by all means, you should be putting the uniform on. I think it's funny, before Bryce, not this home run, the one before that, well, because his power is coming back. Now there's multiple different home runs to sometimes get confused with one another. But before Bryce Harper hit the one previous, Rob Thompson spoke, and he brought up things about, well, we don't want to play him at first base every single day. There's still some things there, and we don't want him to get too sore, and not 100%. Oh, not 100%. Is this Bryce Harper not 100%? Because I would love to see what 100% is. If this is more along the lines of, I don't know if he's ready yet. It's great, man. It's great. This is a, 85% Bryce Harper? I can't wait, because I know this next series, the series after that, the series after that, we're going to get a Bryce Harper show. The Bryce Harper show is one of the best things that you can understand when watching baseball. Does that make sense? I don't know. That's two phrases today that just sounds like utter garbage when it spews out of my mouth. Okay, St. Louis, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Angels, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then you got Milwaukee, San Diego. There's a big stretch in September. San Diego, Miami, Atlanta. And Miami isn't the same team it once was. This year, we figured that would happen because, well, the run differential told a big story about, I don't know, man, is that a sustainable way of winning? It was proven that it wasn't. You get Milwaukee, you get San Diego. That's both on the road. The Atlanta Braves, you have 4 games. Then you go to St. Louis, and then you have 3 games in Atlanta. So that's 7 out of 10 games against the Atlanta Braves. Mid-September and late September. I don't like to look too far ahead in the baseball world because you could get trapped and so much happens from now until then. That's one to raise the eyebrows at, though. Holy.
Damn, that is such a tough pill to swallow after Bryce's just amazingness in the 9th inning. JT, I don't know what the hell he's swinging at. For some reason, the Giants defenders also wanted to play gods on Stott and Bohm's at bats. Like, seriously, the baseball gods just couldn't let one of those balls drop to let us win the game. Come on, give us a little break there, please. And then Craig Kimbrell in the 10th. I don't know the pitch calling situation there. You're up 0-2 in the count to DeYoung. Why are you throwing a pitch right down the middle of the plate? You know, that was the JT at bat was the game. The JT at bat was the game. But I'm going to take positives from this. It's a tough loss to take, but it shows once again that this team doesn't quit. They didn't back down at all this game. So that makes me confident down the stretch. Also, Gabe Kapler using 20 billion pitchers in this game. Come on, dude. Stop doing that, you prick.
Oh, he's a bum. That's just the honest truth. Gabe Kapler is a bum, and he doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to the sport of baseball. I can say that pretty confidently. Sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, Gabe, if you're listening to this, just let it be known that I don't think you know a damn thing about being a manager in Major League Baseball. You are a bum. JT Realmuto in the 9th inning with Rojas at third base. That's it. That was the game. Please, man, please. I like your positives, though. This team never gives up. And if we look at last year and we realize what they did and how special it was, they absorbed all of that info on what it was like, and I think they're starting to bottle that up and using it now. There is right now an example of them grabbing information and growing up, and some of the young ones, Alec Boehm, Bryson Stott, a lot of maturing going on. Some of them were already pro. Some of them already had a long journey. Kyle Schwarber and some of the others. Now, you know, Nick Castellanos in Cincinnati, not the same. And Bryce Harper, really, it's not as if the postseason numbers in Washington was anything, wow. I mean, that was sort of a knock on Bryce Harper to a degree. And he came here and did what he did last year. That solidified his greatness in the postseason more than anything else that we've ever seen. So, okay, maybe let's also factor them in. Maybe we do have to note them more because really Kyle Schwarber is the one to stand out the most. Other than that, last year there was a ton of, I need to know how to do this. I need to get educated and experience this so then year in and year out, when it's late August, when it's early September, I got it all figured out. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and we'll see how September plays out. But last year, September was miserable. I'm sensing that they aren't going to let that happen because they're in a mode that won't allow them to get there. They understood last year's debacle of getting in with looking at other teams. Milwaukee, as the example. And John Kincaid of the John Kincaid Show, my good friend, He tweeted this a few days back. And maybe it cancels out everything I just said because, well, no one's shining big time down this All-Star race. The All-Star break race after the All-Star break, heading into the wild card. The Phillies, and this was tweeted the 21st, so a few days back. At the time, the Phillies were 19-16. The Giants 16-18. Diamondbacks 12-22. Reds 14-20. Marlins 11-22. The only team better than the Phillies was the Cubs, 10 games over 500 at 22-12. So is it really another example of everyone else failing and the Phillies just doing enough? It doesn't feel the way that it felt last year during that backstretch at all. Now, we're not at that backstretch yet. There's a lot more. The Phillies can take off and start pounding some of these teams and really getting the full stride of their offense, clicking and becoming more reasonable with some of their starters. There's a lot more baseball to go, even though there isn't. It's a little bit of both. It's going to end real quickly. At the same time, there are still a lot of baseball games that mean a lot more, so it's more stressful and it's more impactful. I, deep down, believe that they have what it takes, based off of last year's run, to do this differently. For the first time in a long time, do these backstretch games differently. And part of their fight today is a reason why I feel that way. That's part of their DNA. They didn't have that before. Not like this, and not with the confidence, and not with the swag, and not with the understanding of what CBP is like. They look at that as a weapon. When they assess what could be, and when they visualize how they can do this, the fan base and the crowd is a part of that. It's part of the winning a recipe. It's amazing that we can have that level of impact, isn't it? All right, with that, off day tomorrow. See what happens as they get ready for a weekend series. I love you all. You're the best. You're the greatest. Phenomenal. I love you. Talk to you on the next one.